bigger than your fear, then your dreams are your nightmares. Everything we have designed at Emerald, you will see that we have designed it through the lens of children.
On today's episode in Mumtaz Herbal Product Presents Voice of Excellence, we are joined by a man who doesn't just teach leadership, he builds it. From founding international institutions to writing the blueprint for self-improvement in his book, his impact spans over thousands of lives. He has proven that transformation is fueled by one thing: momentum. He lives by a single truth. When you're building something greater than yourself, you don't get stuck, you grow. Dear viewers, prepare to witness the philosophy of excellence, Mr. M Ronok, the author, the founder of multiple schools. So let's not waste any further time and let's go and meet him. Viewers, our special guest for today's episode is here right with me. Please let us welcome Mr. M Ronok, founder and chief advisor, Emerald International School, Dhaka, and also founder and director, Springdale International School, Dhaka. Hello Ronok bhai, how are you? Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Wahid. Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to be here.
Our pleasure, and thank you for giving us the time in such a hectic schedule. So Ronok bhai, before we start the usual questionnaire, I'm very curious to know about one thing. Like usually in Bangladesh, what we see is when someone goes abroad after finishing their higher studies, they choose to stay there. They try to obtain a citizenship in a developed country and they have a life over there. But you did the opposite. You grew up here, you went to the States, you did your higher education, you got a degree, and then you decided to move back to Bangladesh. Like, why did that happen?
I love my country. When I say I love it, I really mean it. So there was a vacuum in my heart throughout my life that I'm going to do something for Bangladesh. So the calling came at a very early age of my life, very early stage of my life. So I'm back here. I want to give back. It's ingrained in my blood, brought up. My education system taught me that you gotta give back to the society. And what better place is there than Bangladesh?
True.
Such a beautiful country.
Ronok bhai, that's wonderful to hear. So when did you first find your calling? Like during our childhood, all of us have dreams, right? Some of us want to be pilots, some of us want to be army, some maybe policemen, some doctor. So what did you want to be when you were a child?
When I was a child, let's reminisce from my school years.
Sure.
So maybe 16, when I was 16 years old, I had this calling that I'm going to have my own school. It was very strange. I was very imaginative, but I was not an extrovert child. I was very introverted, okay? Misunderstood, daydreamer, some of my teachers would call me. And I was sent to the detention centers, which was called study hall, but that's really detention center anyway. And over there, I met one of my mentors, my teachers, Professor William Derringer, who found the courage to nurture me, and I found the courage to open up with him that, hey, I want to have my own school one day. And he just said, that's wonderful. Yeah, why not? And that got me started. That, okay, you know what? I'm not insane. I have somebody else who believes in me, right? So as educators, this is so important to understand that people are literally looking up to you just to know that you believe in them or not. So that's how it started. As young as 16 years old, I started this imagination of having my own school. So that was my calling, and here I am today.
Wow, that is really impressive, because being sure and certain about your destination at such an early age, I think it's a very great advantage, because you had a lot of time to prepare, to think, and now you became successful in a very young age. So this is really, really impressive.
Let me tell you a story of mine. If you're talking about my childhood, that dream also, it's a second part to what happened even earlier than that. Was in a mile run. Have you ever ran a mile?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so in high school, we had to run a mile twice a week. Okay? So my first mile run my time was 16 minutes. And I tell this story to everybody, everywhere I go. You know, if you know me, you know this story of this mile run, 16 minutes. Everybody beat my time, even the girls. They were 16-year-old. It's very embarrassing to run or finish a mile in 16 minutes. But the same mile run, at the end of that year, I ran in 7.5 minutes.
Wow, less than half.
So what happened? Here's what happened. The teacher moved in. All right, the teacher interrupted and said, you know what, I'm gonna do something about this kid. He didn't give up on me, right? He started running, jogging with, still remember Professor Lance Whitty, Mr. Whitty was my PE teacher. He kept on jogging with me and everybody kept on clapping. So he turned embarrassment into celebration, into, you know what, you could grow in your own pace. And that's how it was 7.5 minutes at the end of the year. And that's when I understood my capacity, that, you know what, I should believe in myself. I should be, you know, whatever I believe, I should be obsessed with that. So, and that's when I found the courage to go, like, you know what, I can have my own school as well, where I can help other kids like me to believe in themselves and to achieve their milestones.
Wow, this is something I think both of us have in common. I also believe that there's definitely power in positive thinking, and if we are really thinking something really hard, if there's a lot of positive energy, we can actually manifest that.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, discipline. But for younger people, they always need assurance. All right. So having the right mentors, having the right teachers, having the right surrounding support system is paramount for that age, for young people. So if we have that, and if we find that courage to follow our dreams, then, you know, it will manifest. Absolutely, it will manifest.
So Ronok bhai, speaking about dreams, you had a dream when you were a 16-year-old. You had a vision of having your own school, but then you finished your schooling, you went for university in the States, you have a very good degree. You could have gone for the lavish, more comfortable and secured life. You could have secured a job in any MNC or a corporate, but you still chose to work in the education sector. You still chose to have your own school. What led you come back and chase your dream again?
Man, I actually never went away from my dream. So since that time, when I was 16, you know, that imagination was actually very concrete. It wasn't an abstract, like a Harry Potter school, but it was a concrete school. I was actually seeing the facilities in my dream, you know, what I would want, how I would want. So if you visit any of my schools, you're not gonna see facilities, chair, tables, AC. You're actually going to see an art. Every classroom speaks to the souls of the children. Everything we have designed at Emerald, you will see that we have designed it through the lens of children. Like when they're going up the stairs, what do we want them to see? How do we want them to feel? What do we want them to imagine? So children's day-to-day is all about imagination, and we have to nurture that. So I actually never left the dream, meaning from that time I started working with my teachers. What do I mean by that? I started stapling papers for them. I volunteered to help them out, to print things for them. I was a teaching assistant. I built the first design technology lab with my math teacher over the period of summer. And then I went to university. I was involved in a community school called Al Huda Academy, really helped them transform their school around. And then again, you know, somebody came up to me and said, hey, you got a knack for schools, you know, you're really comfortable. Then I call this gift. Like, gift is what do you do the best with the least amount of effort, better than anybody. That's your gift. So it turns out my gift was I can engage with people. I can engage with young people. I can engage with teachers. I can engage with parents. That's why, you know what, I can have my own school, because school is all about these three people, right? Parents, teachers, students, right? These are all the stakeholders. So never really left school. So if you think about my high school, then college was still in school. College is also school. After I finished college, I got an opportunity to start off another school from scratch called Seven Skies in Malaysia. literally from scratch. And that school today is 11 years old in Dhaka.
Wow.
Okay, that's in Malaysia. So you can imagine how old I was at that time. This is 2012, 13. My daughter is born there as well. So I was doing really well, and life was very comfortable. But the vacuum in my heart, I can't explain to you. In the middle of the night, I would get up. I still felt like vacuum, that I wasn't fulfilling my purpose. So what was that purpose? In Bangladesh, you have to go and build your school. So I actually packed up and came back. I waited for 4 years before I launched Springdale. Before I understood Bangladesh, I understood how things work. Because I'm very Americanized in my childhood, my education, and everything. So it took me some time to understand Bangladesh. And in 2021, I launched Springdale in the middle of COVID, right? And that's another story. That's another story.
Well, let's hear a bit brief about that story, because I was gonna ask you eventually that since you founded a school at such a young age, so what were the hurdles or obstacles that you were facing? Because I'm guessing it is not an easy task to accomplish.
No, it isn't. But if your dream is bigger than your fear, then your dreams are your nightmares. But if your dreams are bigger than your fear, they are your dreams. So your dreams have to be really big. So challenges and fear factors should not overcome your dream. All right? So dream really big. So that's what I did. I really, dreamt big. I wanted to establish a school that is exemplary, a boutique school that centered in Gulshan. So when I wanted to open Springdale, I faced many challenges. There was almost nobody who wanted this school to take place. People kept on saying, "Dimola, kiভাবে করবা?" We want to say how you do it. How are you going to do? You're so young. You don't have any gray hair. I also don't have very good vision in terms of my eyesight. So I have retinitis pigmentosa. So অনেকে এরকম কমেন্টও করেছে that you don't even see how you're going to build a school. So, but I knew what I was imagining. I knew what I was obsessed with, so I could care less, and I did not pay attention. I had to go through this for 4 years, and eventually, 1 year after another, there was just challenges like Nirapod Sorok challenge. The year after, there is elections. It was countrywide challenges. It wasn't just individual challenges. And then came COVID. And I said, what, I've had enough. I'm going to open it in COVID. When everyone closes their door, Springdale opened their doors. Everybody called me crazy. I said, what, so be it. The world is run by crazy, so might as well be one, right? And so that's how Springdale started in the middle of COVID, and today it is 5 years old. We just turned 5 in January 17, and it is the fastest IB authorized school in Bangladesh's history.
Wow.
Right, in Bangladesh's history. I'm really proud of this achievement. I'm very thankful for this achievement. So starting it was a challenge, then taking it forward was another set of challenges. Nobody wanted to believe in you because you're a newbie, right? You may have track record in Malaysia, but that doesn't count.
Because the scenario in Bangladesh is entirely different.
Entirely different. No one knows you. You're a kid. To them, they're like, he's a young kid. Should I trust my kids to him? But so what I did was I put my own child in the school. First sign that you believe in your product is when you put your own children. Put my own daughter in here, and then a couple of her cousins followed. Then a couple of our friends followed. So we had 5 kids we started the school with. It was a very long journey. The first year was...
Wow, even this school started with just 6 pupils?
Emerald?
Yeah.
Emerald started with 11.
Okay.
Emerald also had its challenges, right? When we took this property, the July 31st, the revolution took place. So we couldn't even launch the school. until like August 18th. As you know, the government opened the school on August 18th. But the dream is bigger than all the challenges. Like I said, most people at this stage will give up. Well, you know what? I'm gonna lose faith. I've made a poor investment. I've made this and that. But as for me, it's beyond just an investment. It's my dream. I'm talking about. We're talking about. It's my calling. There is no way. I don't ever have a plan B. I always bring out a new plan A. So Springdale's challenge was COVID. Emerald's challenge was
the
July
revolution.
31st revolution. But Alhamdulillah, look at us now. No one remembers those days. No one remembers. Very few. Maybe the first early parents remember. The early batch of teachers, they remember the hardship. But overall, we don't really remember. That's what it is. People believe in results. And I also believe in results. And as young people, we should not look at our age as a disadvantage. We should rather look at it as a
Advantage.
Advantage, absolutely. Because we have the energy. And we
Right.
have the firm belief.
Ronak bhai, my prayers and best wishes for your dreams, and I do pray and hope that you continue making this impact on our education system. Before I go, there's a small gift from our sponsor. This is for you.
Thank you so much.
My
I really
pleasure.
appreciate it. Thank you. And I also have a special gift for you and your team. This is my book, Shine. This is the first book that I published 2 years ago. We launched it at Shahabuddin Park in Gulshan. So this is a self-help book, and you'll find many things about yourself. Every 9 page, you can record your emotions, how you're feeling. This book is now your companion. All right, and anytime as an entrepreneur or as a professional, if you ever feel burdened, open Shine, give it a chance to make your day.
Thank you, Ronak bhai. I always love books as a present, and I'm really honored that you have gifted this to me. Thanks a lot. I will surely give it a read. Viewers, this is Ronak bhai's book, and I think, where is this available? So that
It's
they can
available
also
in
buy.
Bookworm in
Okay.
Shahabuddin Park.
So you can get this from Bookworm in Shahabuddin Park. It's a very nice little cozy bookshop. Many of you might have seen the shop. So I think you heard the visions and the dreams of Ronak bhai. He is truly an inspiration, and this book can help you more. So make sure to give it a read. That's all for today's episode. I think, like me, you have been also inspired by Ronak bhai's words a lot. Next episode, we are gonna bring someone as inspiring as Ronak bhai. Until then, stay happy, stay healthy, stay blessed. Bye bye.